Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Power of Podcasting. I am Nick Polkuski, and right now we are in the pre-show for The Power of Podcasting. This is a time where I can just make sure everything is working and everything is all set up and ready to go. And I have my phone on mute, all that fun stuff. Because I am running a brand new setup here, and so I am very excited about it. I can kind of see some of your comments. I got a system here, so I'm really excited about this system and about everything that we have set up and what I'm going to be able to do with this, but I'm also ridiculously nervous about actually being able to run everything. So just a time here for me to make sure everything is set up, ready to go, and I will be jumping back and we'll be diving in and getting started with the actual show in just a few minutes. So if you happen to be watching this on the replay, feel free to skip ahead. And if not, let me know where you're watching from. Where are you watching this video from? Just let me know in the comments. And we are actually going out to multiple platforms right now. We are out on we're out on YouTube, we're out on Facebook Live, and out on Periscope. And I've done Facebook Lives before, not with this exact system, but I am super excited about everything we got going on here because it's a lot of cool stuff. And this actually relates to one of the topics we're going to be talking about on this episode of The Power of Podcasting. So just in the comments, let me know where are you watching from. Excited to hear that. And I'm going to try to monitor the comments and everywhere. I will for sure be on Facebook, hopefully everywhere else as well. But just trying to make sure we keep everything working the way it's supposed to here on this side of things. So we're getting started in just a couple minutes, and so I will, or just 30 seconds. So we'll be diving on into the main piece of content here. So I'm excited to be jumping in, trying some new stuff. Kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit here with what I'm comfortable in live streaming. So we'll see how it all goes. Hopefully it goes well. We'll find out in just a few moments. All right. Welcome to The Power of Podcasting. I am Nick Polkuski. I am your host here, and I am extremely excited to have you joining us on this episode of The Power of Podcasting. And as if you were here for the pre-show, I quickly mentioned that I am here with a brand new live streaming setup. Hopefully things are going to be running smooth. I already know they're not going to. But I'm very excited to be diving into this new setup because it's going to allow me to do a few cool things, some really fun, interesting things with the show that I will dive into a little bit more later. But this last week has been kind of a crazy one. I've spent a lot of time here in this studio recording interviews with entrepreneurs. And in fact, this last week I did 15 interviews with different entrepreneurs, people who have created successful businesses all around content creation of some sort. And what's been really cool is that this has taught me a few things because I've been interviewing these entrepreneurs for just one main simple reason, because I have something very cool that I'm excited about is a brand new summit coming up. I'm hosting one of my very first summits called the Impact and Income Summit. And this summit is all about how you as an entrepreneur can share your message with the world, how you can actually go out there and share your message, have an impact, and create an income from that message. And so I've been talking to, I have over 30 entrepreneurs lined up, and this last week did 15 interviews, and there were some very common things that came up across those interviews, two main themes really, and that's what I want to dive here into on this episode of the podcast, of this live stream, and really talk to you about what those two themes were, how they apply to you, and most importantly, how you can actually implement them in your business and in your life. So just wanted a quick check on everything, say hi to everyone. Thank you for joining, and let me know if you are currently running some sort of online business where you're sharing your message, your stories, your advice, your insights in order to help other people and then create an income from that. Let me know if you have a business similar to that, a message-based business, if you will. Just leave a yes in the comments letting me know. And so yeah, I am very excited to be jumping on in this. Like I said, I am trying a new system, which actually relates a lot to one of those big themes. You see, this last week for the summit, I'm interviewing people like Jeff Goins, Grant Baldwin, Joel Comm, many others. Like I said, I have, I believe, 35 actual interviews confirmed and scheduled, and a few more speakers who we might be working with. And all these interviews are going to be happening between about 2 weeks ago to July 10th when the summit actually kicks off. We have some recording right away that day, even on the first day of the summit, just because there's no other time to fit them in. But there's been some very consistent themes through the interviews that I've had so far. And one of that very big one, one of that first big theme that keeps coming up again and again is the need for authenticity. Now, hold on. I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes slightly, but stick with me just a second here and let me kind of explain what I mean by that. Really, this authenticity is all about being true to who you are and finding your message. Really it comes down to relationships. We all realize that, hey, as in life, we have friends, we have people we know. None of our friends are exactly the same. They all have something unique. One guy may really be into sports or really great with data. Another guy is really into books and reading. Another guy's really into mixing drinks and things like that. They all have a little bit they might have commonalities, but there's always something unique about them. And really, when we're talking about authenticity, it is about finding that thing that is uniquely yours and expressing it because no one else can express it exactly the way you do. And when I say authenticity came up with just about every single interview that I've done so far, it's come up in the sense that some people purely love to talk about authenticity and they like to help coach people how to be more authentic. And then it's come up some other times where people are just like, I hate the word authenticity, and I hate that they make the point that if you have to learn to be authentic, then you're not being authentic. The truth, I think, is really kind of somewhere in the middle, because it's about expressing your personality, but in a more professional, more elevated, a slightly unique way for your industry, for your niche, because you don't want to be just like everybody else. You want to be uniquely you. You want to stand apart from the crowd. But yet at the same time, you want to be sure that you are actually modeling some of the best practices that we've seen that other people have put forth, because especially when you're just starting out, you're not going to yet know what your voice is. You're going to have to, because you're going to be uncomfortable. It's a completely unique situation. We are getting closer and closer to creating online relationships, building relationships online, very similar or more like they are in real life. Live video is a huge piece of that. It's helped make it a little more authentic, a little more like real life, because you can see people, you can talk to them in real time, you can connect with them in a much deeper way. Podcasting does the same thing. You can hear someone's voice, you can hear the inflections, you can hear that their personality come through, unlike you can in blogging or writing or anything like that, or at least in someone who is not very well trained to do copywriting. The best copywriters, some of the best people, yes, they can really bring forth their own voice in their copy, but for anyone else, for me especially, I do not. I have a difficult time writing the way I speak, writing the way I connect with someone in person. I think the closer we can get our communication to that individual, to that in-person type relationship, the better. But it's going to be a challenge. It's going to take some time. It takes a little practice. It is not necessarily an easy, simple thing to do. So it's going to be something that you're going to have to stumble into it a little bit. You're going to have to work on it. You're going to have to start crafting your voice. And what I think it comes down to is that you need to figure out what are those things that are important to me. What are those things that are my values that I really believe in? Make sure they come through in every piece of your communication. Make sure people can really get a glimpse of your personality. If you're a little quirky and weird, let that little quirky and weirdness kind of come out. If you're if you are a little more introverted, you might have to amp it up a little bit in your online community, because a lot of that is lost when you are not going back individually. I just realized something. You guys have been hearing music the entire time behind there. I am sorry about that. Let's try this. I told you, I'm going to dive into this part about in just a second, but I want to finish this authenticity piece. Live streaming pros is someone who I've learned a lot from, especially here lately as I kind of up my game in the live streaming area. And they have, I'm trying to remember exactly how professionality, I think it's the word they use, but basically it's a combination of professional, but yet adding in that personality piece. And I love that concept, because that's really what you're trying to do here with your online business. You want to let that personality shine through. You want to let that personality be seen, but you want to stand apart from those people who are just kind of winging it, who are just not nearly as professional, because you want to make sure, in order to help get sales, in order to really have an impact on people's life, in order to get them to take action with your advice, people need to know, like, and trust you. Personality comes from that personality piece, adds that know and that like. And that trust you piece really comes from some of that professionality, from that professionalism, from that taking things to that next level and being a little more polished, being and not polished in a bad way or a robotic way, but polished in a way that it looks like you put some time and effort into the things that you're doing. It looks like you thought about this ahead of time and prepared things in order to help your audience achieve the best result. So like I said, authenticity has been kind of that buzzword that some of us might want to roll our eyes at, but it truly is, I think, an important thing that we have. And at the underlying level, it is really about letting your personality shine through while finding a way to differentiate yourself from the crowd. So I just going to check in quick and check in on some of the comments here. If you have a comment, question, feel free to leave those. Like I said, we're testing out a lot of new things here, so I'm trying to capture and check in on everybody here. But lots of things going on, and I want to dive into really this second piece. Again, this is a second piece of advice that I really learned while doing all of the interviews for the upcoming summit that I have here in July 10th. It starts, and it's the Impact and Income Summit. And really, these are 30 plus entrepreneurs that have gone out there and have really made a difference in the world by sharing their message. So they share a message with others, and that has allowed them to have an impact on their audience lives, and then make an income along with that. And the reason I wanted to create this summit is because I believe that each of you has a message, has something that will help change other people's lives. I believe that you have experiences, insights, and advice in some area of your life that can help make a difference for someone. No, you may not be kind of that expert, you may not be someone who can sit on the mountain and say this is exactly what you should do, but you might be a few steps ahead of someone else in some area of your life. You might be just a couple steps ahead where you can guide them along the path, help them know which potholes to watch out for in their journey down the same path that you're going down. And that's really what it is about. It's about sharing the knowledge, the experiences, the insights and wisdom that you have gained in your journey in a particular area. And by sharing that, I truly believe that the best way to grow a business is to consistently add value to other people's lives. And so in this summit, we're hearing from people who are experts in in blogging who are New York Times bestselling authors. We're talking to people who are experts in live streaming, experts in video creation, and in email marketing. We're going to be talking to people who have run multiple summits and are doing phenomenal with those summits, people who I'm learning from. So all of these experts are people that I've handpicked because I've followed them in some way, shape, or form, and I have learned from their advice, and I want to help pass that along to all of you and help you take some of those same steps. And one of the consistent themes, the second really consistent theme that has come through again and again and again in these interviews has been the need to make yourself uncomfortable. Yeah, make yourself uncomfortable in your business and in your life. And really the reason is because when you get uncomfortable, that's when the growth happens. That's when that progress can start happening. And so I just want to encourage all of you to really find that place where you can push yourself a little bit. It's not necessarily a fun thing to do. I know... So I used to do a lot of experiential education, so a lot of ropes courses, going up on and climbing very high in the air and jumping off ropes courses and team building type exercises. I used to work in that world a lot. And they had this model where basically imagine 3 rings, that going out. And so the center ring is your comfort zone. This is where, you're used to, where you're comfortable, where things are easy, where you know what you're doing. That next ring out is that discomfort zone. This is the zone where I want to challenge us all to try and be in on a regular basis. Not necessarily live your entire life there, because that can be stressful, that can be not good for your wellness, but you want to try and routinely reach out into that discomfort zone, because that's what's going to allow your comfort zone to slowly expand. Now, the thing you want to watch out for is that outer ring. That is actually the panic zone. That's where when you get so far out of your element, so far out of your knowledge, your expertise, and just so far away from your comfort zone that you just go into panic mode. And from there, all learning stops down. Being in your panic zone isn't good for you in any way, shape, or form. It's just extra stress. You're not learning anything. You're just panic. You have that fight or flight mentality kind of kick in, where it is almost always flight. You're almost always just wanting to run away. You're very uncomfortable, and you're just not going to progress at all. So you want to stay away from that complete panic zone, and you want to be in that that discomfort zone where you're going to feel a little bit uncomfortable at times. And that could be many different things for many different people, and it's all going to change on a consistent basis. For example, I've gotten very comfortable. My comfort zone is in front of a podcast mic. I don't have any issues with that. I can create content and I can get in front of a podcast mic, no problem. And I'm starting to be more and more comfortable with recorded video. I have no real problems with that either. Like, if it's recorded, perfect. Let's jump in. I know it can do extra takes if things get messed up. Not a big issue for me. The issue is when we start looking at live video. That gets to be uncomfortable for me, and I was just kind of getting in this area where it was starting to be a little bit more comfortable. Some of you who may be longtime viewers know that I have been doing live video for a little while now, and I was used to some of those platforms, using Switcher Studio or using the Mevo. Got to actually be fairly easy. I could bring people in here. I could do interviews. But one big thing that I wanted to do is launch this brand new show. This brand new show I have coming up called Downtown Madison Life. Completely outside the podcasting, online business type world. It's just featuring the city that I live in, the city whose people and whose businesses I want to help tell those stories. And I have a cool idea, an idea I'm excited about, but it's going to definitely challenge me in the live stream capacity, especially when we start talking about adding in extra things like some of these lower thirds. Like I'm now learning how to do this because I had to learn a new piece of equipment in order to be able to run some of these, in order to be able to do some of the things I want to do with the show. I had to, I'm very much back in this uncomfortable zone. So I was not checking comments here. Part of the reason I'm kind of practicing with the power of podcasting, though, is because I think it does take it up to that next level. It does help bring in a little more of that professionality, if you will. It's going to help take things to a new level for me, for my business, for you, the viewers. It's going to help eventually translate to a better viewing experience for you. Right now, maybe not so much because I'm still a little nervous. Might not be coming through quite as I might be not making my points as clearly as I want to. There might be mess ups. Streams might be going down. Looks like everything's still going, which is good. I'm happy for that. Like I said, we're trying to go 3 different platforms right now, which is really cool. First time I've done that. First time I've ever went to more than one platform. So we're reaching new things here. But hopefully you can kind of understand what the big meaning behind this point is that I want you in your business especially, and then where you can get into that discomfort zone. Because being in that discomfort zone is going to be uncomfortable. And quite frankly, it's going to suck at times. If I didn't send out an email to my email list a couple hours ago, before I would have probably not gone live, to be honest with you, because I was that uncomfortable with it at this point. I haven't had a chance to practice any of this stuff, but I know that the best way to learn, the best way to get this out there is to do it in a live environment. Because I'm going to realize things that I just am not going to if I'm trying to do in this recorded or this test area. And it's only by putting myself out there that I'm going to grow. And I just want to remind you of that because, again, that was a thread in 15 interviews. That was the one that definitely came through in every single interview. Authenticity came through most of them. But the importance of getting uncomfortable, the importance of going up there and asking for the sale or reaching out to that big name person who you might be scared to reach out to. You need to put yourself in those positions. You need to start getting used to being uncomfortable, to start getting used to being rejected and failing sometimes. Like, it's going to happen. It's not fun by any means. I hate it when it happens. But it's something that needs to happen. It's something that you need to do in order to grow and in order to really create the business of your dreams. And even more importantly, it's something that you need to do in order to really serve your audience and have that impact in their life. So there you go. That is the 2 themes that showed up again and again and again with these content-based entrepreneurs that they kept bringing up again and again and again. And that is to be authentically you and let your authenticity shine through and really let your, again, to steal the words from Live Streaming Pros, to let your professionality shine through. Really let yourself stand apart from others while being you. And because people want to have that relationship with you. And then the second one is to really, on a routine basis, consistently put yourself in that discomfort zone to get uncomfortable at times. So to kind of wrap things up, I'm going to jump in and try to check some comments. Sharon, thanks for the shout out. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. Like I said, a little nervous about all of this stuff here. But everything seems to be going good. I think we're still live on all the platforms, which is awesome. I wasn't sure if that was going to actually happen. And so with that said, if you want to, I just want to actually dive in a little bit more on that uncomfortable piece, because I know it's going to be tough to do. And in order to help get yourself in that situation, you need to do a few things. I want to give you some strategies here before we wrap up. And really one of the big ones is to surround yourself with the right people. You're going to want to surround yourself with people who can give you advice, people who have been there, people who have been who are a couple steps ahead of you on that journey in that area. Already mentioned them a couple times. Live streaming pros in the live stream space, they are definitely ones who are way further ahead than I am. They are building sets and things like that, and studios for people like Michael Hyatt, Amy Porterfield, Pat Flynn, people who I follow, who I look up to. So they are way far ahead of me in that area. So I'm learning things from them. I'm learning what platforms I should be using. I'm learning all kinds of different things, and I am getting some encouragement from them and other people who are taking their live streaming challenge. So I would recommend, if live streaming is any interest of you, go check them out, livestreamingpros.com, or their live streaming challenge, which is livestreamingchallenge.com, I believe. I'll include links in the comments here in just a second. But the other piece I really want to encourage you is to find somebody to hold you accountable. Find somebody who can be along there and make sure you're getting that little bit of a push, because it does take a little bit of a push. For me today, a big thing to go live here, that extra push was to send an email out, was to schedule the Facebook Live and not just randomly go live, because I knew my audience would help hold me accountable. I have certain ones of you who would definitely be emailing me if I sent out an email and then didn't go live at the correct time. So that was big. And if you are in this online space, if you are looking to build a business based off of your message, and you want to surround yourself with people who can help you do that, I want to recommend that you go head on over and check out the Impact and Income Summit, because like I said, we have, I think, around 35 entrepreneurs at this point, plus thousands of attendees. This summit doesn't kick off until July 10th, which you can sign up right now. It is free to sign up right now. Just head on over to impactandincomesummit.com. And really with that, I just want to, again, thank you for tuning in. My name is Nick Walkuski. You can find out more about me at yourpodcastguru.com, and I will be going live every single Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be sure to come back next week, and I can't wait to see you then. And until next week, it's time for you to take action and maximize both your impact and your income.